This is one of the most disgusting cases I've heard. A Northern Territory cop has returned to work after charges were dropped against him for failing to seek medical treatment for his partner who died from a head injury that had been caused by either another person or a fall. There'd been a long history of domestic violence. 17 police complaints had been made in the 5 years before her death, including complaints made by the woman's friends and neighbours. The woman, who was also a police officer, often didn't complain about the violence for fear of reprisals. The coroner found that in January 2020, the woman was planning on leaving the cop, but she died 2 months later. The coroner said there were questions about what happened during the last 5 days of her life that needed answering, but the cop refused to answer because he might incriminate himself. In response, the coroner said, "In my 25 years as the Territory Coroner, that is the only occasion that a serving police officer has refused to answer questions because the answers might incriminate him or her in an offence relating to the death." Incredibly, after the woman's death, the Northern Territory Police didn't establish a crime scene, as was protocol. They simply accepted the word of the cop who said her death was believed to be an overdose. The cops who didn't establish a crime scene should be kicked out of the force because they may well have covered up a murder. How the hell do they sleep at night? It's no wonder so many cops end up with PTSD. It's not from the stress of their job, it's from all the shitty things they do covering up for their corrupt mates. You know, this might have been a tragic accident, but if that was the case, then why did the cop refuse to answer questions for fear of incriminating himself? And why did so many others report him to the police for domestic violence? This guy might not have been found guilty, but there's an old saying, if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, then it's probably a duck. You can guarantee this won't be the end of the matter either. I'd bet London to a brick this cop goes on stress leave and ends up with a whopping compensation payout at the taxpayer's expense. Let us know what you think in the comments.